Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk blades. That's what we're into today. Zero tolerance. Now, you guys know I like zero tolerance. I very much enjoy zero tolerance. I absolutely hate their price tags, but there's a good reason why they're a little bit more expensive than the average knife. Build quality is really good. I forgot, somebody told me once, they were like, you know what a ZT is to me? A ZT is like Benchmade and Cold Steel getting together and having a child, and ZT is what you get. Now, I kind of, to me, I thought that was kind of stupid, but at the same time, you might be onto something. Got for you guys today, Dmitry Sinkevich carbon fiber. The model number is 0452CF, CF for carbon fiber. I've had this knife for a little while. I don't want to carry it because it is a very pretty knife. It is what I've heard the term coined as pocket jewelry, and yeah, this is pocket jewelry. This is a very generic box. Comes with a plastic sleeve and your typical booklet, care and maintenance and warranty information. So nothing crazy about that. Doesn't come with anything else. Put the box aside. Here's the actual knife. I've been carrying this knife for a little while now, and I'm nervous to carry it because it is a very expensive knife. Well, to me, it's expensive. Anything over $100 is ridiculous in a knife, but a lot of people can agree that anything that is $100 that is a folding knife is pretty damn ridiculous in and of itself. But with zero tolerance, if you are the type of person who's willing to spend that kind of money, then by all means do so. But this thing has a price tag of like $217, $230 in some places. I think I ended up spending $230 for this, or $218, tax and shipping and all that. I think it just came out to $2. Anyways, it was over $200, and this is kind of I don't like carrying knives that are too expensive for me. I mean, I carry them, yeah, but I don't like hard using them. I take them out and use them for what they're intended for, and I try my best not to use them as a beater knife because it's expensive and they're pretty. So anyways, it's a flipper design. You got over 4 inches of blade on there. I think it's like 4.1. I don't know. We'll do the specs here in a minute. You got the carbon fiber handle scale. Now, this is a very, very thick piece of carbon fiber. All right, it doesn't have anything else on here. It is just one solid slab of carbon fiber. You got the two standoffs. I don't know if they're aluminum or stainless steel. And, of course, you got the titanium back frame. All right, it is a frame lock. A lot of people don't like frame locks. It's a safety issue. It's not that strong, blah, blah, blah. I don't like it. I don't like the way it feels. I hear many things. To me, locking mechanisms on any knife don't bother me as long as they work, and they work properly. That's how I see it. This frame lock, to me, I feel it's pretty strong. You got an over travel pin right there, or screw that holds a piece of metal in place to keep this knife, so that way you don't over travel that lock bar, or that lock scale, or whatever you want to call it. You got a deep carry pocket clip right here that to me is kind of stupid. Sorry to be really blunt, but I'll get into that in a minute. You got a lanyard hole right there, and you got this kind of like very interesting, yet I don't really care much for this design on the pivot screw. It runs on ball bearings. This thing's really, really smooth on opening. But I gotta tell you, there are times when I will catch myself slipping off the flipper right here because of how aggressive the detent is on this knife. When I got this knife, I had to play around with it a little bit just to work in the detent just a little bit. You see that right there? Got the model number, Sinkevich design, Kai USA S35VN. You got another serial number right there, and of course you got the ZT logo stamp right there. This is to me, it's a very visually appealing knife. I very much enjoy the design of this. The only thing that bothers me about this knife is the deep carry pocket clip and the detent. Other than that, this knife is fantastic. It is a very sleek design and very visually appealing. This thing is very satisfying in so many ways. Carrying this thing is so lightweight. It's really funny, actually. When I first got this knife, I literally thought that I was being gypped, because you know ZT, Zero Tolerance, makes big, hefty, chunky, manly knives. When I got the box, I literally thought that I didn't either get the knife or I got something else in there, or it wasn't the item, because this thing is ridiculously light for its size, because of the fact that it has carbon fiber and titanium. And then, of course, the only thing that actually has any weight to it is probably the blade, but even at that, it's overall a very light knife for its design. And I love that about this knife. I was very nervous buying this knife because of the price tag. It's a pretty high, hefty price tag. And to me, that's just like, that could be a make it or break it situation for a lot of people, and for good reason. You can switch this knife pocket clip from left to right hand carry, but it is only tip up. So sorry for you tip downers. Don't mean to be a downer. This knife is so easy to clean because it's just open construction. You got those two pillars, and of course you got the blade right there. Everything else is just free floating. So that's fantastic. Nick Shabazz did a review on this knife, and he did it perfectly. He executed that thing. So if you guys don't like hearing me, go ahead and listen to that guy. He's fantastic. I love his content, by the way. Another person who inspired me to be what I am, or what I'm trying to be anyways, a YouTuber. I enjoy this knife. I very much enjoy this knife. This is a pocket folding sword, as Nick Shabazz would say. This to me is kind of too pretty to carry every day. But if you're going to carry your knives to use them, this is one of those things where it's like, do you really want to beat this thing up? Unless you got the money to buy something way better. To me, this is one of those dress knives. You know, it's like, put it in a pair of slacks during the wedding kind of knife. Not use it every day and spill coffee on it and get schmutz on it from, you know, cutting up licorice for you and your pals or whatever the hell. This is one of those, like, I'll carry it when I feel like it, but I don't want to mess it up because it's too damn pretty type knife. Anyway, yeah, the ergos on this thing are fantastic. I really enjoy the jimping that's up here. It molds into your hand ever so perfectly, and it just feels right. Even in hammer grip, it feels great. Even reverse grip feels nice. It's just, Dimitri did a really good job designing this thing. Even if I wanted to choke up and or choke down, excuse me, and this grip right here, if I wanted to extend my reach of this blade for whatever reason, cutting cactuses, honk honk, if you really had to extend the reach of this knife, you really could, and it actually feels comfortable. It really does. To me anyways. A little hot spot of that being, you know, a hot spot, but if you wanted that reach, you actually could do it, and the molding, the contouring of this knife actually does feel that that's necessary to do. And it does. It feels great. It really, really does. The ergos on this knife are fantastic. They're just, it's really, really great. Like I said, the only complaint that I have is the detent on this thing is pretty strong. So when you get this knife, just be aware of that, or at least in my experience. I had to do this a lot. Sit there while, you know, on my computer or watching TV or just relaxing. I'll sit here and just do this for an hour, and it smoothed up the detent a lot. But it is still very strong. It's very snappy. You kind of have to light switch it open. You can't really push button it because, yeah, it's a very, very strong knife. That's just my experience. You know, everyone's different. The lineup on this thing is really nice. Pocket clip, like I said, I just think it's stupid. I really do. Why put a deep carry pocket clip on there when you still have some of the knives sticking out? I mean, it's not a lot, but you got that little, I don't know, it's kind of annoying to me. But I can overlook it. It still works. It functions. All right. I'm not going to complain about that. We'll get into the specs of this bad boy here. That's a humongous box, right? ZT and their big boy stuff. All right. So you're looking at, yes, 4 inches, but you're looking at 4 1/8 of blade. 4 inches of actual sharpened edge. Probably a little bit more than that, actually. 9 1/4 inches overall for the actual length of the knife. And, of course, for the weight. Now, this is kind of my favorite right here, because I already know this thing is light, and it's not a normal thing for it being the size that it is. 4.29 ounces. This is under 5 ounces for a huge knife. This is really good. Yeah. I think they could have done something different about the pocket clip, in my opinion. I really think they could have just used this screw for that pocket, for that area, to make that line up, and this would be way deeper in the pocket. It would make sense. I could do away with the lanyard hole. If they did like a lanyard post like Civivi does, that would be so much nicer than having that on there. But for you lanyard people out there, that's that option that you can actually use if you really wanted to. Or just put a lanyard plug. I think that knives should come with a lanyard post or a lanyard plug, so that way us non-lanyard people, you don't have to see that there. But you know what? I'm not trying to complain. Like I said, this is a very pretty knife to me. I really do. I enjoy this knife a lot. I think the only other thing that kind of rubs me a little weird is the grind on the blade. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you see how the grind is right there, right? I flip this around and look at how deep the grind is on that side. It's a lot thicker grind on this side than it is on this side. Now, I've just noticed that, and it is plenty sharp. I have cut a few things, and I can tell you it is razor sharp. But the grind on this thing is uneven, and I don't know. I'm trying not to look at it like that. It's still a pretty knife with a very pointy, stabby tip. The design of this thing being, it just kind of tapers into like a diamond kind of reinforced tip looking thing. It just looks nice. This is a very visually appealing knife. I think that they could have done something different with this whole spoke, wheel spoke design on here for the pivot, but it's not a bad knife. It's very, very sexy, in my opinion. It's a really, really nice knife. Would I carry this every day? No. Heck no. I wouldn't carry that every day. Crazy. This is like one of those, like, you know, you got dress watches and you got dress knives, and you know, you don't want to carry this every day. It's too pretty. It's too pretty for everyday carry. I'm sure there's going to be someone in the comments going to be like, what are you talking about? What, you don't buy a knife for use? Yeah, I do. I buy a knife for use, but this is just really pretty. Like I said, I carried it. I've used it. I really like it. It's nice. Ergonomics are great. I can't really say anything bad about this knife. I really can't. As far as like the contouring of the handle, this doesn't have very much grip. It does have a texture. It's very light on the carbon fiber side, but it's very subtle, and it's nice. There's no sharp edges on this thing. Everything's rounded off perfectly. I like how they did the lines on here. It's just, I don't know, it looks really nice. It just looks very quality for the price. To me, is it worth over $200? Heck no. Probably, this would be somewhere around like the $150 range. Never over $200, probably double the price. But it's just, the blade steel on here, you got that S35 VN. Ooh, I actually felt that. S35 VN. To some people, that's not a really, you know, amazing steel. Some people would say that it is a super steel. In my opinion, at one time I would have thought that S35 VN steel would have been a super steel, but I think Carpenter steel and Elmax, like, those are super steels, right? But this is kind of one of those knives where the blade steel and the materials being used, I mean, they always say it's premium, premium this, premium that. Like, okay, all right, yeah, premium carbon fiber, premium titanium, premium steel. Is S35 VN premium steel? I think I've seen that on cheaper knives. I don't know. It doesn't affect it at all. I think that this is a really, really nice knife regardless. And that's just that's my overall take on this. I carry it because I like it. Am I going to carry this every day? Heck no. It's just too expensive to carry every day. But ZT did it again. I think I have one or two other knives from ZT that I haven't done a review on yet. One of them being an older knife and another one being a fixed blade. And I gotta tell you, man, ZT just they if you're looking for something that has just kind of a manly vibe to it, then Zero Tolerance is the way to go. I enjoy Zero Tolerance. I hate the fact that they're so damn expensive. They got Benchmade price tags. Some of them. Most of them. From my own personal experience. But Zero Tolerance makes really, really quality stuff. Really good quality stuff. So go ahead and slash that like button, stab that subscribe, slice that bell icon so you guys are notified anytime I post new stuff in these craziest of times. Everybody, please be kind, be safe, carry responsibly, and I'll see you all awesome people in the next video.